Right, we're live.
That's great.
I'll come back now in a second.
Great story, Phil. I'm just having a bit of mint arrow here.
Yeah. Hope everyone's paying attention and watching as I stride over to the desk because I'm trying to try produce it and host it. Do everything else. I'm here.
I have a strawberry that
we got the chocolates. Good evening! Welcome along to the club. Of course, it is what day is it? Monday. Used to be the thing club. It's Monday night. It is the club. I left my phone over there. I don't know what's going on Periscope. Hang on, I'll go back over. Just keep eating the chocolate.
Just hand it over to you.
I know, yeah, but I prefer to wander around just for a laugh.
Your phone is a
Cool.
wallet.
What?
Your phone is a wallet. Follet.
As well. Yeah,
follet. Or a wallet.
Where are we? Good evening, anyway. It is the podcast.
Stop putting that fucking in front of me, will you?
You can see tonight we're having a jelly party.
You're fucking scumbags.
And Shane here, his body's a temple, and he doesn't know what to do with all the sugar that's in front of him here. Anyway, lads, good evening, welcome along. Normally we do the host and thing, there's nobody here to produce it, so we're live. Thanks for jelly. In tonight we've got Andy, we've got Steve, we've got Shane. Poor old Shane, he's been on the gargle literally all day yesterday, and I told him this morning that he was on the podcast just for a laugh. He wasn't actually in tonight. I just wanted to see if he'd turn up, and he did. Fair play.
I knew Neil wouldn't be here.
I know, yeah. Neil is supposedly at the airport. Which airport, we don't know. We think it's probably Bogota or Venezuela. Anyway, the club is brought to you in association with RedsBet. RedsBet's a betting site tailor-made for Liverpool supporters. RedsBet aims to share half of the net profits to Liverpool supporters and fan causes. So no matter what, the fans end up a winner. Check out the odds on redsbet.com or download the RedsBet app, share the glory and gamble responsibly, and there will be a bet out, one of our special bets out for tomorrow and also then for the weekend as well, when Gav doesn't do another podcast that he announces to the world as ever. Tonight we will be talking about Liverpool. We'll be talking about
More Liverpool.
The Liverpool Man United match. Mm-hmm. That went
bag of shit.
Yeah, and that was a big pile of pants. And we'll also be talking about who else? We're talking about the Liverpool Watford game, which is on Wednesday. So we can forget about the pile of pants at the weekend, but we can look ahead to the game at the weekend. We're looking at a bit of context, but most of this won't be on the Periscope because it will be on the podcast tomorrow, which is what the podcast is about. Anyway, Stephen, good evening.
Philip.
It's great to see you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for bringing all the sweeties.
No problem.
Yeah, responsible RedsBet, but we do have a lot of various different confectionery from.
Well, we do have another side sponsorship with Haribo. We just wear Haribo on our sleeve, though. That's the sleeve sponsor.
So listen, on the Periscope bit I want to talk about tonight, Andy, in general, I just want to talk about the context of the game from yesterday. I'd like to sum it all up because if Klopp was turning around at the end of the game and said that was a big bag of shite, and of course, you're one of the few people that could have been influenced with it was a big bag of shite, you know. How did you feel about it after 90 minutes?
Oh, here we go.
Right, in the press conferences, that's not what he said. You know, emotions are running high, and his initial reaction was he said to Solskjaer that was a load of shite. That's how I felt at the time, but it's only afterwards you step back and look at the context and look what it means to our season, and it wasn't all that bad. It was a horrible watch. You know, it felt like, you know, a missed opportunity. But again, we're still top of the league by a point. Klopp was right in a lot of his comments about the injuries disrupting the game. It was the portion of the game where Liverpool did look like they were getting on top and getting a bit of control and they could create some chances. But, you know, the injuries did stop the play enough to disrupt the team. And then in the second half, I think United came out well. Look, that's the way it is. You go to Old Trafford, you can't just think you have the divine right to win. But we drew and we've taken 4 points out in this season, which is more than most seasons.
Were you specialising in having your most boring voice I've ever heard you on the podcast ever today? Like seriously, that you literally drowned on there. Stephen, do something exciting, right? Do more.
I don't know how we can top that, to be honest with you.
All right, so I fell asleep there.
What cold?
A little one, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Are you still hungover? Are you still hungover from Saturday? Are you going to tell us the truth?
No.
Tell the people.
As you get older, when you drink, I had a lot of drink on Saturday night, and I was just
in a bad way
yesterday. And now,
do you reckon do you reckon you fell asleep for half the match, and that's why you think it was all right? Because it was absolute cack, is what it was. It was fucking brutal. It was.
Well, I don't think anyone would disagree with you. I just said it wasn't an enjoyable match at all. Like,
it's a bad result though as well.
No, it's not really.
Against
It's not really.
Against an average Man United team that were then decimated by injuries. Three substitutions in the first half.
Yep.
And it was toothless. It was toothless from Liverpool. They didn't have any impetus in their attack. They didn't have any cohesion in the balance between midfield. Thanks very much. Between the balance of midfield and the forwards. All three, like, okay, Firmino goes off early enough and we bring on nobody. So we play with 10 men for 70 minutes in the game. 60 minutes in the game, whatever time it was that he went off. But Mane was really, really poor. James Milner.
Don't use up everything. We need to talk about this in the podcast.
I know I've loads to say about this, don't worry. James Milner was the worst I've ever seen him play for Liverpool, I think, yesterday. And I'm not being over the top in saying that. He could not put two passes together. And his ability to even when he was breaking defensive lines and getting into positions to get a cross in or whatever it might be, it was cack. It was just absolutely abysmal. And I normally don't react passionately one way or another to games. I tend to be reasonably down the middle when it comes to final whistle and going, all right, that's over, move on. That's just how I am. I watch the game, I get into it, and I turn it off and go back to real life.
I think you set your style.
I was so annoyed yesterday.
You set your style out at the start of the game. You said you wanted to see an enjoyable game. That was what you wanted.
I'm not seeing an enjoyable game every single game. That's all I care about is actually watching us.
You wanted to enjoy the game, but that wasn't an enjoyable game.
I've been happy enough watching us this season grind out stuff, and it's been ground out in a professional way.
I like grinding as well.
Even if we all like a little grinding, especially R. Kelly, but he doesn't see anything wrong with it.
Doesn't see anything wrong with much.
With a bit of bump and grind. But anyway, we were shit.
Shane.
Philip.
Fancy a bit of sleep there?
I won't sleep tonight. It'll be
I'll
be crawling.
the terrors,
be crawling the walls.
But come here, I want to put it right. There's a myth that United Liverpool games are ever entertaining, and this is just another typical Liverpool United game, which just generally are very rarely entertaining to watch.
No, well, look at going back over the last couple of seasons. You obviously had Mourinho there who wanted to strangle the fucking life out of the games and basically not get beaten, and
just when Houllier was manager.
And it just yesterday just fell back into that as well. I think it was fucking both teams declared after 75 minutes. I think, look, we'll just take the point here and fucking both move on and both be happy enough for it. I think that's certainly what it looked like. Steve was right, absolutely fucking toothless up front.
I'm here to encourage the debate around this, but my own personal view, I said it yesterday, I think it was really an opportunity missed. It was one of the worst United displays I've seen in Old Trafford in a Liverpool United game. Not
a bad defensive display from them. I thought there was good performances from Shaw,
but to be fair, you were basically just looking at a Roy Hodgson team.
Yeah,
camped all the players in their own half. Hope to try catch on the counter attack.
They were dangerous, though. They were. I thought they were there. I agree with you. I thought they were there for the taking, but I thought on the flip side they were very dangerous on the break.
Can I just ask what was good about United's defensive performance yesterday? We didn't have a shot on target in the second half. We had one shot on target for the game, I think, which was Daniel. They didn't.
Well,
we didn't take opportunities. We didn't steal half a yard and get a shot off. Luke Shaw wasn't brilliant. For me,
he didn't have
Salah was really, really poor yesterday, and therefore Shaw looked like he had him in his pocket. But really, Salah didn't try and get at him much at all. Mane was like a headless chicken. He couldn't pass the fucking ball to a single grey shirt. And we had Daniel Sturridge up front for 70 minutes who did absolutely nothing.
Well, that's a fair point. I mean, Salah was off the pace. He got tackled by Mata. He got matched for
some players have bogey teams, right? Suarez used to have a bogey team in West Ham, and Salah has never performed against United since he signed for Liverpool.
Interesting. I think it was Young played left back
last year.
And he had Salah in his pocket as well.
But Young had a good game that day. Salah was trying stuff and getting nowhere. It's not even that Salah yesterday was trying things and Shaw had a brilliant performance. I thought Lindelof was actually probably the one that looked reasonably composed and decent for them, but
he played though. From watching the game yesterday, he played. It was like he was playing with a strop. You know what I mean? He wasn't. Things weren't going from right, and on the flip side, across the pitch, look at Manu. I agree with you. He was really, really poor, but he was trying.
Oh, he killed himself.
Yeah,
he was nearly trying too hard.
He was bright, but he was trying to force it, and we were losing. Them little 1-2s around the box, etc., trying to get in. Kept giving the ball away. But Salah played like he was in fucking bad humour. Like, it was, he just fucking...
Let's not
like,
forget ourselves, though. This has been the
I
way
want to
for
bring it
weeks.
back. Look, we can get into the individual performance in the pub. I want to bring it back to the context, because the context here, we go into the Old Trafford game, right? We go into this game. This is our game in hand over City, right? Yeah. The one thing we can't afford to do in this game is lose that match.
Yeah.
Right? The one thing we didn't do yesterday was lose that match. We still come out, and I'm not one to go, well, we're a point clear, top of the table, aren't we brilliant, right? Yeah. But we do come out of that game. We are a point clear.
Still in the driving seat.
And we're still in the driving seat. The facts are the facts here. We match City's results in terms of wins and draws to the end of the season.
We win the league.
We win the league.
Yeah.
Is that not a position you want to be with 11 games to go? And I'll be the very one, when I'm not doing this and being a host, right? I'm the very one to say that that's not acceptable for me, right?
Yeah,
so
you go off and right. And throughout games, we all throw wobblers. Look, like anyone else, I was going fucking bananas yesterday.
Were your hands going mad?
Everything was going mad. Like, I was saying all sorts. And
what were you saying?
Just things that didn't even, like, they weren't even words, what I was saying. They were just like noises. And but that's the way. But like Phil, you put it in good context there. The fear for me all week was losing that game. Okay, we gained a point. It's not a huge amount, but the psychological advantage from not losing that game is massive. If we had lost that game and went behind City on equal games played, it's very difficult when you know all of a sudden we're chasing and the players are demoralised. They went to Old Trafford, and players aren't fans. They think differently. They haven't lost, and they've seen United win so many games in a row now. They're going to feel better about it, and they have a very winnable game coming up on Wednesday. Look, if we don't win that game, then you have a problem. Then you have a real problem.
Is that not four draws out of 5?
Not losing at Old Trafford.
It is
not a real fucking problem.
It's 4 draws out of 5
yeah,
games.
And over 38 games.
It's not about over 38 games.
It is about over 38 games. It's exactly about over 38 games.
Well, we're talking about the context.
The way football goes, it's never the way you expect. There's always going to be a little spanner in the works. Straight after we draw against United, City offers a little glimmer of hope with Fernandinho out now for a few weeks. That is massive in the context of the season and what's to follow now. If we don't win the next 2 games, you don't expect to win those games at Old Trafford. You expect to win games against with Leicester at home and West Ham. You expect to win those games. But they're playing Watford at home on Wednesday. If they win that and they win the derby, all of a sudden people are talking about the title again. People are influenced so much by games, and I just don't understand the overreaction to draw against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Even when we had the great teams in the 70s and 80s, it was hard to get result there.
Stephen, I want to bring it in because I'm on board with your sentiment, right? Our form over the last 7 games is shit. We've dropped 9 points in the last 7 games. I was told 5 games ago, what are you worried about? We're not going to drop that many points come the end of the season. And I was like, well, show me this now by the time we get to March and show how many points we've dropped. On our current run of form, we're potentially dropping another 8 to 9 points before we get to the end of the March, which will be terminal.
Absolutely. There's like the seasons, and any season you look at, they're groups of 6 to 7 games. Yeah. That's the way seasons tend to break down. 6 to 7 matches, and you get runs of form, and you will get, City last season on a bounce of 12 or 14 games. That was just 2 runs put together because there was no challenge, there was no pressure on them. They were able to go out and play carefree once February came around. To be perfectly honest, it was wrapped up at that stage. It was whether they were going to break 100 points or not. I think we have a real problem at the moment in how disjointed our attack looks and how off the pace and just not in sync with each other. It's almost and there's been like, I'm not trying to find a negative about the fact that we're top of the league. I'm genuinely not. It's brilliant, and if we win the league this season, it doesn't really matter what way we do it, just to get that fucking hoodoo broken. But the truth is, this front 3 have not been a fluid unit all season compared to last season. They haven't. They haven't performed. They've had so many off games, and we've come up with something to win the game, and that's brilliant that we win games differently and we're more defensively sound than we were last season.
In October, November, we tended to win games with the front 3 not playing particularly well either, and people were.
But they're back for the last 6 weeks not playing well. Like, we had one good game against Bournemouth, but this time around we're kind of giving up chances, and the defence is unsettled. But it's not. Yeah, we are giving up chances, but not even that. It's that. There's no even if we were drawing that match against United yesterday with De Gea having had a great game, or you're saying, okay, listen, fucking Shaw put Mane in his pocket and Young Shaw put Salah in his pocket and Young put Mane in his pocket, and okay, we'd lost Firmino. That's fair enough. We could have been there for another hour and not scored a goal. That's the problem. And I don't buy into you were at Old Trafford and it was Man United. That's a really poor Man United team.
There has obviously been though that a lot of pundits and that are alluding to we're a lot sounder defensively. Yeah. And that's kind of having a knock-on effect on our forward play. Now, I wouldn't necessarily buy into that, and I don't know if that is the reason why that reason would be. But you also, I think, have to look at there's obviously a change in formation, probably to get Shaqiri into the team earlier on the season. So all that going from 4-3-3 to 4-2-3-1, Firmino playing behind Salah, etc. So there'll be mitigating factors anyway, slightly from me. Yeah. As to why the front three.
Klopp has. When I say Klopp has questions to answer, he doesn't have questions to answer to anyone. But you have the right to question some of the decisions that Klopp made yesterday.
That's what I want. But I want to talk from the top, and this brings in the whole context piece, right? There's the belief out there. I'd probably buy into it as well. Is that Klopp in high pressure situations, i.e., cup finals, has made a lot of bad decisions, right? Like he has a lot of bad luck in finals, but when you get into these type of games, which essentially are cup finals when you're on a league run-in, my concern is that he seems to at times do mad things in pressure situations. And when I looked at yesterday's team, it seemed to me a bit safe.
Not mad.
Well,
safe. I think it was mad to bring Sturridge in after 20 minutes.
And it's the
the other choice was to bring in Shaqiri. For whatever reason, he's not giving them them type of minutes at the moment, or else bring in Origi, who's having pretty much the same effect as Sturridge.
And if you bring Shaqiri on there after 20 minutes, I would agree with you. But I would imagine, like Andy said a few minutes ago, we were on top. We were on top of the game and we had the possession, and I'm sure he didn't want to change the formation in case something changed along with that. I think that would have been nearly matching United up.
But he didn't need to change the formation. All he needed to do was push Salah central and put Shaqiri out on the right.
Yeah, he could have done. I'd say maybe.
Can I just jump in, because I want to? And it boils down to the substitution, the starting lineup, right? Playing Milner right back. Freaked me out, right? And I mean that because he's Trent fit. If Trent isn't fit, he shouldn't be on the bench.
No,
okay?
That was to do with Pogba.
I don't. No, I'm not pointing it, right. The second bit,
the fact that Trent was come back from injury.
The second bit is that he was good enough to play 90 minutes against Bayern Munich,
and then he has to play against United.
But he was still better than Milner. He was still better than Milner.
He was shy though.
He was still better, and he would have offered more than Milner.
James Milner hasn't had a single good game at right back.
No, not this season.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm just talking about like the decision was like you're saying was a totally mad one, but Trent was absolutely fucking atrocious. So
what are we going to do? On what, we're going to play Milner there, or else
no,
we're not going to play Trent there because he was atrocious.
But if you don't play well and you get dropped,
I don't think there's anything mad about playing Milner left.
There's everything mad, because first of all, he doesn't give us anything going down the flanks.
He normally does. His delivery has been good in the past.
Not this season, Andy. Not this season. We either if we can say that, we may as well say
Milner is a big game player. He's lots of experience. He's in midfield. He's thinking Trent. He's
in midfield.
Well, left back as well.
He's offered us more in midfield this season than he has as a right back.
He's played right. He's played in the right hand side of midfield as well. He's played all over the pitch.
I'll go to the other bit.
He's been good in big games.
The other bit I have is that the midfield. We know we're not going to get much through penetration through the centre of the pitch when we play Wijnaldum and Henderson. All Henderson did was sit on top of either Fabinho or Wijnaldum for the whole game, or on top of one of the centre backs. And when he was taken off, it was the right decision. It was either him or Wijnaldum, and I don't care which one was coming off, but we didn't need both of them sitting there just going left to right, left to right, left to right.
He threw a right proper strop though, didn't he?
Wijnaldum
played well.
Wijnaldum, Henderson and Fabinho, I personally think it was a decent balanced midfield. It wasn't their fault that we didn't, which
offered nothing attacking wise.
It doesn't do anything to link the midfield and the attacking three. It never does.
The ball's got into the front three. Mane gave the ball away I don't know how many times, right? He did his best, but he was that loose Mane you get in certain games.
Yeah.
Obviously Firmino went off the pitch. Sturridge gives you nothing, and Salah had one of his worst games of the season. Whether we credit Shaw or we we batter Salah over. That the fact of the matter is, it just didn't work. I don't think the midfield's.
It's great the ball goes in there, but if there's nobody supporting that ball going in there, Andy, you're leaving a big gap between you and the midfield.
Breaking the lines.
Yep.
Well, it depends what Klopp's instructions were there. We can only suspect that Klopp didn't want to lose that game. Yeah, looking at the last 10 minutes, I would suspect at half time a lot of the team talk would have been around not losing this game. He could have, as a fan, you're thinking at half time he must smell blood here. He's going to give them a route up the arse at half time, and they're going to go out and they're going to try and win this game.
But they didn't.
But the opposite happened. United came out and they looked the stronger in the early part of the second half.
Henderson and Wijnaldum for me, you're going to get safe. You're not going to get pro.
You can't play the three,
and you're not going to get
when you mix Fabinho in, because it's not like they haven't played a huge amount of games together.
But Fabinho was the deepest in the three, and he was the one carrying the ball.
Yeah,
so he was actually going past Henderson, and Henderson was stood there offering nothing. And Henderson had a brilliant game against Bayern Munich. He has. It's probably 2 or 3 seasons since he's put 2 back-to-back games together like that.
Yes,
he doesn't have it in him anymore.
Yeah, I would have preferred to see if we wanted. I would have preferred, because I think Keita, to his credit, over the last 2 to 3 games has been building up some form. I would have preferred to see Keita start.
Yeah,
with Wijnaldum and Fabinho as the midfield, and then if you wanted to take Wijnaldum out, to bring Henderson in
with 60 minutes gone
for that security and that more reassurance and that more.
There's a touch of the Raffas about Klopp as well, with the
70 minutes
having to get to the 70-minute mark before he'll make a change, and it is a worry because, and the reason yet again it's a worry is because a lot of the time, in my opinion, if you want to affect games, you need to affect them earlier than the last 20 minutes. Now, we have scored a lot of late goals in the Premiership this season, but for me, at 55, 60 minutes, it was obvious where this game was going. And to wait another 10 minutes, and to then have Origi and Sturridge on the pitch together.
Yeah, look, I think Klopp applies the exact same logic as Rafa does to that substitution time, and because of the drop off in effort, he picks his team based on what he trusts to go out there and win the game, and he's very sure of himself and his team selections. So he doesn't go changing things too early. That's just his managerial style.
It's not going to change. I don't think. But what is our style?
I think Keita, the plan would have been for Keita to come into that game at some stage. Only had to make the early substitution.
Why not bring him in?
Well, I think the plan would have been to Fabinho would have played 90 minutes, Firmino would have played 90 minutes normally, and it would have been a change in midfield. Henderson probably would have come off.
Just on that though, we bring Sturridge in, right? So Firmino goes off. The one thing about Firmino is mobility, and he gets around, right? Yeah. Why Sturridge? Why not Origi? And the thing I'd say, he's played Origi more since Christmas than he has. And the one thing Origi has is mobility and a willingness to work.
The only thing I can think of...
I don't know the answer to that. Is the honest question. He's obviously showing something in training, or showing more than Origi in training. Now, he's absolutely fucking stuffed.
Grace says you look like you're in a press conference. Shame for the Boston Bruins.
He must be showing something in training. Because he literally, you're looking at him trying to run there yesterday, and he can't fucking move. He literally can't move. So for me, it would have been fair enough. Origi has his bad points as well, but he's mobile, and he's certainly a lot more mobile than Sturridge.
It's just
step over.
It's really fucking frustrating. But even if you were looking at the game yesterday, in my mind, I was looking at how poor Milner was and wondering, okay, so leave Henderson and Wijnaldum on, drop Fabinho in at right full, take Milner out of the game at that point. You'll get something from Fabinho on the right, and he can tuck in. If there's nothing coming down that side, he can tuck in and act as a third midfielder if we want to push on. You can have Keita in the side then, and he can add as a support. Maybe what Sturridge, if he was going to keep Sturridge on, maybe what Sturridge needed was someone 10 yards closer to him to play that little wall pass with him, or whatever it might be that he required, because it clearly wasn't working what we were doing.
But can I ask you, one of the big things, and this is where we wrap on, one of the big things that Sturridge used to bring, right, even when he couldn't move, was an ability to shoot from distance.
He shot from distance.
I know. Our one shot in the game was from 400 yards, right?
He killed about 16 maggots to the highest hand.
At least it was a shot on target, right? But what is going on with our players? Like last year, Salah used to just take one cut inside the full back
And have a pop.
outside the left,
And
inside
put it
the
in
left.
the fucking
There's,
put it in the top
there's
corner.
something about players that do that. Coutinho used to do that. Once he lost his range, he couldn't find it. He needed one to just fly into the top corner, and then every time he do it, then after
Yeah,
that,
Andy, if you don't do it, like
just
they're not
can't-
even attempting.
No,
They've turned into
he
Wenger's.
has.
How
he
bad was
has.
his free kick in the first
His,
half?
his
Oh,
free
Mulder.
kick,
Can
his
I-
corners, like it's like he's just forgotten how to kick the ball. And
I think I
don't
found
know.
Carl's bop by the way. Hey, Coxie.
It's a weird thing. One point that I've noticed since Matip has been playing, right, apart from us looking way more nervy at the back, is his ability to carry the ball past the midfield and at the opposition's defence causes a lot of problems. He did it early against Leicester and we actually scored from it. And he's been doing it since then. Sometimes he runs for it and then he just does a big turnaround and passes it back. But when you have teams like defending so deeply and congesting that final third of the pitch, it's no harm having a player that can do that. And Matip did it early on against United, and I had a
Herrera draws the foul from Herrera on the edge of the
Yeah.
box for that
Yeah.
terrible free kick.
So that's one thing I don't really understand why they don't continue.
Just on that free kick, how many times? Why do they not just go as hard as they fucking can keep our side and make them save it?
Exactly.
That's
And
you see it all the time, Phil.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you play like you want them to go over the wall there.
Yeah,
you,
of course,
like, you
because
absolutely.
you're
Because if he doesn't, he's going to fucking mill the thing at 100 mile an hour, and you're going to have to do something. And you might get a corner off it,
Or it might
you
just bobble in off you.
it might go in. He might make a save that rebounds back out.
19 times out of 10, the goalkeeper's going to take a half a step.
Yeah.
Right?
Not just
because
that, De Gea had come quite centrally, and on top of that, he was right in the edge of the box. The ability, he's never really shown an amazing free kick ability in the time he's been with us.
free kick ability.
Free kick ability on him, but the ability to get it up and over that wall and back down in 18 yards isn't the easiest.
Well, for me, we've only got two people who can take free kicks: Trent and Shaqiri.
what about Van Dijk? He used to take them for Celtic.
Yeah.
They use different balls in Scotland. He was cup champions.
champions.
But you know what the modern football is like. If someone with a good left foot in that position just puts their foot through it, that ball
Or if Van Dijk is standing over it and he's shaping that he's going over the wall, and like you have the ability there to get more power into it to whip it back
When you
across
put the
yourself.
you put the doubt
On a
keeper.
right footer, to whip it back across yourself, because it's I think it's easier to generate the power for a right footer there trying to whip it across than Salah going
Trying to get around
going around that
yeah.
way with pace, something like that. But Jesus Christ, if I see another one trying to fucking put it over the wall in 20
don't
yards,
you?
fucking just
I said-
next
I said-
side to make it
I said
fucking
this
count.
in general. I don't know. I was shocked when it came up that we scored
Yeah.
the most goals in
Yeah.
corners. It seems like we just hit the first man all the time. Salah can't beat the first man. Milner's corners are slightly better. The free kick in the box, the indirect
Was
free
awful.
kick.
Yeah.
What was that all
Because
about?
Fabinho was too far
Trying to
away.
get two touches in before you get a shot off.
Yeah.
You had no chance.
You have to just put it where
Well, you have to
away
have
from the wall.
You have to have the second. You have to have the shooter right on the touch
Yeah.
of the man receiving the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was,
I don't know though, right? I often think about this free kick thing. These lads are paid lots of money to be able to pass the ball with accuracy, right? And the amount of times I remember when doing shooting training, all like any decent man just say,
Pass
don't
the
blast
ball
it,
into-
just pass the ball into
Pass
the
the
net.
ball into-
Just pass the ball into the net. And like you see lads from in their own half being able to just lob the ball over a fella that's standing there and put it straight onto. All they have to do is imagine that one of their players is standing on the line.
Have you ever seen them in the warm up? They don't miss a pass.
No, they don't even miss a free
Balls
kick.
from 60 yards, like on a sixpence.
It's like to get
unbelievable.
excited. And they want to put more power on it, and they want to put more swaz on it, and they want to put. They all want to be Cristiano
beat a bit of
Ronaldo.
swaz on it.
Can't beat a bit of swaz. A bit of
Get a bit of
swaz.
swaz on that.
And on the kind of opposite to that, where we started to look really vulnerable from set pieces.
Well, this is the one thing. I know we'll talk about on the pub, but fuck it, we're
highlight.
talking here. We can just include this
roll
part
on
of the part.
through.
We'll just roll on through because I'd have to get up and stop and start and everything.
Do
like that.
fucking 40 minutes.
But right,
Cares.
I agree with you.
No
Set
one's
pieces. What is going on? Like literally, they were just waiting for United to eventually score one of those set pieces. Right, and thank God. Who's got the munchies? But it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Those set pieces were ridiculous. Oh, cheers, thanks. Munchies
Yeah,
for your half-time break.
how all of a sudden has a free kick from 50 yards out become like
Danger.
it's incredible. Like West Ham, 3 or 4 of them on the bounce.
Yep.
Every time West Ham got a shot off, they were missing headers like from 5 yards. United were marginally offside yesterday for the Matip
Twice.
OG, and then
It was a great finish by Matip. It's pity you couldn't do that at the fucking other end ever.
That's like, but
I'm holding
that's good defending.
back at Matip at the moment.
Only because we've no other option, and you want
Because
to
I don't like being terrible towards our players, but
having a high line
he's as bad as any
and catching them
centre-back.
offside is defending well.
We've ever had.
I would think though. Personally, having a high line, catching them offside is defending well. Like, that's worked on.
Yeah.
Obviously. Now I'd like it a small bit deeper myself. Like
To be
watching
fair,
the game,
it was very, very close. Like,
but like catching a team offside down the high line, like they'll be looking at that going, yeah, look, that's good, job done there.
yeah, if whoever's working on that with them in the defence is saying, lads, you're nailing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's a hair's breadth.
It's fractions.
It
You're
is a
relying
hair's
on the linesman all the time.
Yeah, and you're relying on the line.
Even the
That's life.
Matip goal, it's an offside from before Matip strikes the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like
but-
That was a very well worked one, actually. The sneaky one in the back, because that player was never going to be offside.
no, no, and like but some finish by Matip, buried that into the bottom corner.
To do the same the other night and only Alisson saved it.
I know.
yeah,
Fucking hell.
yeah. Stop shooting at it.
Could we not get him to do that for our own free kicks?
Matip is Mignolet. I'm telling you,
Matip as well.
Mig, he's dressed up as Matip.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
That's why he's not causing any hassle, because he's
That
got
is-
It's why Mignolet's just in the bench of this.
That was newly picked. Those newly picks he had at Klopp.
Yeah.
The agreement now is that he won't post them online if he's allowed to dress up as Matip.
Scooby Doo's
And he gets into the team.
Scooby Doo's into the team. Fucking
He injects the exact same level of nervousness into that whole defence.
And when he does try to kick the ball far, you hear the float you off the ball.
Yeah, there's so many giveaways.
Just sign Koulibaly and be done with it.
Well, unfortunately, there's no transfer window in March. If
Yeah, I
there
don't
was,
care.
it'd be
No,
great.
we
make
need to
one.
sign fucking two
It's
of them
like,
anyway. That other
it's
fucking
like-
idiot is.
It's like Mignolet's 0% save rate. When Matip gets a header in the box, like he's a 0% on target, or he should be standing. He doesn't even have to jump, and he just goes like that over the bar.
One thing I want to talk about: Alisson save,
Yeah.
immense.
Amazing.
Oh, the one from Lingard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
down was
It
immense.
was superb.
And
It
he
really was.
managed to re-injure him as well, which
Yeah.
was
Oh, it was a
good as well. So
lovely
he's-
piece of work.
Not only does he win the ball,
Actually,
he then
sorry.
recovers and,
Sorry.
and grabs the ball.
Can we just come back to the fact that we played a 10-man Man United for the majority of the game? Because Jesse, or fucking Marcus Rashford.
Jesse paints
Jesse
a
Rashford.
picture.
Jesse.
Jesse Rashford. He was okay. He made a couple of runs, but he was limping around the
Yeah,
place.
well,
like,
but how was it that when he got on the ball,
Yeah.
when he was chasing the ball, he looked fine?
because that's
But he
adrenaline.
wasn't putting in- he wasn't
That's
putting in the
adrenaline
work.
going through him. You know what I mean?
But what was his injury?
Ankle.
Because it seemed to just disappear when he was involved.
Alisson saved though.
his ham ankle?
Oh yeah, let's go back to the.
I want to
side.
go back to the save because, it's probably the biggest moment of the game for us. Just before half time, it's everything about that is that you go in 1-0 and your head's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
There's loads of outcomes there, and one of them, the worst of all, is you give away a penalty and you get
Yeah.
sent off. Unbelievable the time and it run out. He's just a perfect goalkeeper. We couldn't have bought a better goalkeeper.
No.
I don't know. I dread to think where we'd be in the league without.
Well, see, normally in these games we've been talking about De Gea pulling off 100 million saves. Right? Think of all the games since Klopp has been there where he's made just save after save. You're thinking, if it was any other goalkeeper, any other game in the league,
You
we
know
win
how
that.
he's had to make those saves?
Shots.
Because we took fucking shots.
Yeah, I know. But in this instance, we're literally talking about our goalkeeper for a
Yeah.
change making the biggest save in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. No, listen, I was watching that Munich game the other night, and I said it to you lads in the WhatsApp. Matip and I'm not having a go at Matip in the same way Andy is. He creates so much
You don't
trouble.
believe it's mega.
No, I don't believe it's Scooby Doo Mig. He creates so much pressure. He creates so much pressure and uncertainty for Alisson. It's unreal because what he does is he takes the ball in. He invites pressure on a la fucking Emre Can, who used to wait to stick his big hoop out at people when they came.
Matip doesn't have a big hoop.
No, he doesn't. And what he does is, instead of doing that, he shits himself, and rather than playing a ball forward in time,
That's why he doesn't have a
he
big
draws on the fucking, draws on the pressure, and then plays the ball to the fucking keeper, who Matip's being charged down by a forward who's still in full flight, and he just changes his direction and puts Alisson under immediate pressure. And it's pointless. I seen him do it 5 times against.
At least that was
I just thought of a song from Matip. Baby giraffe. Because he is a baby giraffe, isn't he? Let's face it.
he has a dose of ballet hands as well.
He's on his legs.
He's definitely still drunk.
Being told here that Steve-O really adds nothing to this.
Yeah. Who's that, Grizz?
No, BC 1978 bad.
Fuck yourself. How about that? What did he say? Steve-O adds nothing to this. I added a fucking heap of jellies, you prick. So wherever you are.
Your man's
The
gaff.
Rowlers.
couple of comments coming in.
Taking this shit.
Couple of comments coming in.
Turn the lights off.
Zippo.
We're going Zippo.
So let's have a look at the comments. Some of the comments, Capois says, bringing Big Divock on last 2 games, just mad la. Then Coxie8 says...
Did you say that, or are you just slagging Cowboys?
No.
Don't mind the
Coxie8 says, Origi shouldn't even make the bench. He's a complete donkey. He nearly missed that goal in the derby. Kev O'Sullivan said, showed yesterday how we can't do without Bobby. You can cover the others with something.
I don't know what you covered the others with, Kev, to be honest with you. We have no options on the bench for that front three. And we didn't last summer.
And Mick has a valid point. What is it with warm weather training? So far we've gone off to warm weather training, come back, we've drawn the next 2 games after warm weather training, and we've done the exact same thing. I suggested that we should do some really cold weather training the next time, so when they come back it feels tropical. They think it's the summertime again.
A lot's being made over, but you stay in Melwood in the freezing cold. You know, does that mean you don't drive?
You go to Norway into the snow and train in the snow. When you come back to Melwood, you think it's Spain.
They have a load of sniffles.
Yeah. But they have a load of sniffles anyway. Look at everyone that was sick after they went on the warm weather training. Then the thing about the Van Dijk thing came up. He said Van Dijk scored a rake of frees for Celtic. It's me, Joshy. He should be hitting them. And then he said he scored loads from closer distance as well. That is one thing. On our set pieces, Van Dijk, whatever about it is, we just decided that we're not going near him for any corners or free kicks.
They all just been falling to Matip and not fucking Van Dijk.
It's almost like the person taking the corner or the free kick isn't actually trying to pick him out.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind. It goes like this for every one of them.
I know, maybe look at me enjoying man in the middle of the box there on the square
head. Put the ball on it. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
The only time you ever seem to find him is the floaty ones in when it's he's just going to head it back across the goal. He's just finding from corners. He's buried you.
Is this possibly where Harry Gibson can get into the team next year?
Harry Gibson.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, listen, let's call a spade a spade. There's a good chance Wilson isn't up to it. We don't know yet, but there's a good chance he's not. You know, he's had a good season with Derby, who might make the playoffs, and how good his general all-round play is, I don't know.
It's amazing.
He's not the answer.
He's played centre back for them as well. Yeah. He's a smashing player, and he deserves a chance.
Absolutely, but he not deserves
a chance. And I would rather have him now than Lallana.
He's also in the swimming leagues on Tuesday.
Where was Lallana on the bench?
Yeah, I think he was he?
No. I don't even know.
They didn't even tell Lallana
that
would
have the
match was on.
Is there a match this weekend, Gaffer?
Sitting on the stands, they're sitting on the pitch.
International week.
They're sitting on the fucking bench.
Lallana's bad, but he would have had more of an impact than Daniel Sturridge.
Don't know about that.
Don't know about that either.
No. Well, what in what way? Like making United better or making us better?
I think he.
You think you're trying to make
some bollocks there. As bad as each other. You're right. I have nothing to this conversation. You're 100% right.
Yeah. What did you make of the save, Phil?
Which save?
The save.
The guy's save from Sturridge's shot. It's amazing.
He did really well.
The save.
Really well with the shot from 400
Do you reckon he could have sat on that ball without touching it with his hands? It was coming at him that slow.
Yeah. I wanted him to do something.
Turned around and sat on it.
Sat down.
No, he should have just dinked it up.
Yeah.
Onto
his chest.
Oh, joking aside, Alisson does two things. The Pogba header, he says, I know it's straight at him and it's caught off for offside.
Doesn't matter. He's working on reactions there.
The confidence that gives defenders, because every time somebody comes up against him, he's making saves again. He went through
a free header.
Well,
we'll allow him a free header.
Yeah. But he bollocked them over. Do you remember
he lifted them.
He lifted them over when Van Dijk missed the header. Van Dijk missed the header at the end. Matip was waving his ballet hands all over the shop, right? And the ball comes through and nobody's standing at the back post. In injury time. And to be fair to him, he's bollocking them out of it, right? And I have to say, we probably had a couple of games just after Christmas where Alisson made a few funky things go on. But that to me is one of those where, for your goalkeeper anyway on the run in, he suddenly feels right, I'm back on. I'm back on. I have that moment. You know when he was having that moment against Bayern at the start of the game and everyone's looking at him, that just suddenly turns, right, I'm back here.
His moments are only like when he has the ball at his feet. And I think sometimes the defence have an awful lot to do with that. The timing of their pass back or what they do when they get
his first touch has been, had been off for a couple of weeks. His first touch was kind of putting him on. I agree what Steve said. Like the defenders aren't doing him any favours. He's already under a bit more pressure. Then his touch was putting him under more pressure. Then for a few weeks there, his touch wasn't great.
He does delay a little bit himself as well. It's like he's not making up his mind on what to do. As that ball is coming back to him, he should have already decided what he's going to do with it, and his touch should lead him to be able to play whatever pass he has in his mind. But it's like he takes the touch and then has to think about where he's putting it.
He doesn't seem to be comfortable just booting the ball clear.
No,
he likes to know where he's playing the ball.
He likes to pick out a pass, which is interesting. Maybe he should take free kicks. Of all the players I trust to take a free kick, Alisson.
But
I was looking. It was a unbelievable save, and it was off the chair. Like it was a goal, to be honest with you.
It was superb. It was superb.
So what's the story with opposition players going mentlers when they win a challenge against us in the box? There was a man Kimmich with his dodgy tash on Tuesday for Bayern Munich into Mane's face, and Mane was breaking. You won't listen to the next leg. I don't know what you're celebrating for. And then some little runt for United was doing the same thing as well. What's your man's name? Pereira.
Yeah.
He cleared the
when
ball.
He was G'ing up the crowd.
Yeah, come on.
He won a corner or something.
Yeah, he won a corner on that one, and he was G'ing up the crowd. But like that's this is what I'm saying. You had Pereira and McTominay in the middle. You had dead Rashford up front. You had fucking Lukaku out on the wing. And to be fair to Lukaku, he worked his bollocks off in that game, but he was offering them nothing in terms of what his actual strengths are, which is normally scoring against fucking Liverpool.
But in fairness, Steve, like there'll be years gone by there and teams gone by and we'd find a way of losing that game. With everything you're
Liverpool
teams
teams more shit than Man United have beaten United when they were on top.
You know, that close at the end, Smalling, to losing that game.
Yeah.
Imagine how we would have felt after that. Like if you think that reaction, like from fans, like warranted the draw. Imagine a meltdown.
I haven't been looking at much reaction, but
I've deleted Twitter off my phone.
As soon as the
on Twitter, I just mean like WhatsApps with mates.
So what I
perfectly happy with it. When the final whistle went, I was perfectly happy with that result.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a result, if somebody had given you a result before the game, you would have taken it. You would have said, right, I'll take it, right? No, Steve, I'll put it like this. If somebody gives you the result before the game, you take it. It's like
I wouldn't. That's what I meant when you said it the first time.
It's like where we stand in the league. If somebody had said to you at the start of the season, with 11 games to go, we'll be 1 point clear of Manchester City.
That's different.
No, but then where we are now 1 point clear of Manchester City, I'm annoyed because we should be 7 points clear of Manchester City.
But if you offered me yesterday at fucking 2:04, then I'd have not taken it. You know.
Do you know, to put everything, to put the whole season,
2:05,
to put the whole season
in Thanks. Andy wants to make a point.
Sorry, Andy.
And he's not using his Borden voice like he did at the start when he was trying to be
Put the whole season in context. At the beginning of the season, I don't think there was a Liverpool fan who really truly believed we would be challenging for the title or be top of the league against
I did, I backed them. That's how much I believed it.
That's because you have loads of money and you don't know what to do with it.
There is that as well.
Right, so if you want to keep Paddy Power in business, that's
it was Reds Bet. We're sponsored by Reds Bet.
You gobshite.
It actually was.
Well,
back Leeds and
I remember you sending me the text message, and I was like, Reds Bet love that. That's more money for them, but that's the share with the fans have net profits.
There you go. So it all comes back to us in the end.
That's it.
Go on, Andy. Make your point.
Nobody really believed we were going to challenge for the league. Am I right? You're talking. Tom,
you did.
You didn't really. You liked the price that Reds Bet offer. Very good.
I thought we challenged for the league. I said on this podcast that I didn't think City.
Can you commit to the mic because that would be horrible for me to.
I said at the beginning of the season I didn't believe City were capable of mounting another challenge that was equivalent of what they did last season.
Okay. What did you think they were capable of then?
I thought Liverpool were capable of challenging. I thought Liverpool were capable of staying close to City.
I'm getting annoyed here.
Christmas when
Andy, will you make your point?
No,
stop getting sidetracked.
If Liverpool win the rest of the games, they get 99 points. That would be incredible.
Insane.
It is. It'd be the second best ever.
My God.
Come on, Andy.
Season for
will you make your point?
Well, it's very difficult to make your point when Steve keeps talking, pretending he made a bet on Liverpool to win the league.
Okay. Okay. Will you make you, Michelle? You get your bet out, and Andy, will you make your point?
I'll make my point. I don't believe. If you weren't a Liverpool fan,
Dear Lord above, can somebody please make Andy's point for him, because he's not going to get to it. Will you make your point?
The point is, nobody really believe we're going to win the league, and all of a sudden when we put ourselves in a position to win the league, people all of a sudden think it's our divine right to win the league. That's not the case. We're 1 point ahead of City in the league. We're going into March. Hopefully we win Wednesday, and we're in March, top of the league. You know, people need to just think back to August when you didn't believe Liverpool were going to win the league.
Can you just have a look at that for me there? On the 17th of July.
What price was that?
6-1, €100.
6-1. That is a fantastic price.
Andy,
fair play to
Andy. Can I just counter your point?
Back Derby County for promotion.
Steve,
what was City's price?
Don't know.
Steve,
I didn't believe they
Steve,
did.
I just want to counter Andy's point there. Yeah. Right? Normally I'd accept your point and say there's relevance into it, but you have to play context, and you always have to play context. When you've got a chance to go 10 points clear at the start of January and you don't take it, right?
Was that against City?
That's what's
okay. So
that was a don't lose this game.
Yeah.
Yesterday wasn't a don't lose this game. It was a game there for the win. City wasn't there for the win at the Etihad. You're not going to the Etihad thinking let's make sure we win this game. Of course, it's an approach you go in with, but you're saying let's come out of here without losing, and we don't lose any ground to the main rival that we have for this championship.
So realistically, we had a chance to stay 7 points ahead.
In my opinion, yeah.
As I said, I'm disappointed we are 7 points ahead. I'm looking at this.
Can I just say, right? You know, I know there's no such thing as a 6 pointer, but we had a chance to go 10 points, right? But you didn't really fully expect them to win the game.
No, I didn't.
I did.
We thought maybe there's a chance to stay 7 points, but we lost the game. You know what I mean? That's what happens in football. You lose a game.
And draws happen as well.
Down to 4
do you know what I mean? Like that. Well, you understand what you're saying, Phil. We'd all fucking love to be 7 points clear and not draw against Leicester and West Ham, but you remember the great sides like the late 80s and all that. They fucking drew games. They drew games as well.
Of course,
it's just it's the emotional baggage that's coming with the 29-year gap, etc.
Listen, if we win the league next year, we won't have any memory of Leicester or West Ham.
Context.
I get it.
We didn't just happen. But hang on.
Yeah,
only since the pressure has come on, and this is where I think we're struggling. This is where I think we're really struggling with this mentally. Is only since we've had an opportunity to keep stretching that lead, and suddenly it's become real. Has this group of players, almost some of them, have shrunk into a shell, and I've always wondered who has the right mentality and who has the wrong mentality. When I look at it, I don't see Van Dijk overawed. I don't see
Alisson overawed.
I don't see Fabinho overawed. I see them actually stepping into the limelight.
I don't see Mane overawed.
No,
I don't. He had a bad game, but
I do see overawed.
But I see Salah as being overawed. I see Firmino as being completely overawed. No, he hasn't won the league.
Okay.
He hasn't won a league in a team that's dominated the league. I see Henderson being overawed. I see, you say Mane. He's stepped up. I'm looking at Robertson, and he's dropped off the last 3 games as well. And that United game, he wasn't great in that United game. So when I look at it, I'm saying you can see the players who naturally can live with the pressure of a title challenge, but the players we need to turn up for us in this last 11 games are the players who seem to have been mentally affected by the recent run of games and the recent run of pressure. And that is my biggest concern about what we face in front of us. Some players prefer to be challengers than be the leaders.
I tell you, looking back on it now, Liverpool could have done with purchasing Mahrez. He could have offered them an awful lot this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have done with purchasing any player like for
could
50,
have done
60
with
million.
purchasing another centre
You know,
back.
we can always say that. You know what I mean?
Biscuits.
60 million. Yeah, great. It'd be great if you had an extra 60 million to spend. It'd be brilliant.
Look at all that profit that we had in the FSG out.
Get you in there, Steve.
They said they've only 3 million to spend
anyway,
next year.
Look, your point. We could have had 10 points clear. that wasn't following City losing and us having an easy game against. That was against City. We were 7 points ahead. We could have went 10 and we could have went 4. We went 4. Since then we've lost 3
We did
points.
have that chance again.
Since then we've lost
Crystal Palace when they lost
3 points of ground.
What?
Since then we've lost 3 points of that ground because they went 4 points. They cut the lead to 4.
Yeah.
And since then we've dropped to 3. So City are capable of dropping the odd point here and there. They were beaten against Newcastle.
Were they beaten by Palace the weekend we drew to Leicester?
No.
No, that was before the hand. They lost 2 games in the bounce.
You're right,
And
Kev.
funny enough, Fernandinho was out for both them games. Someone said they haven't won a game with Fernandinho.
Okay, and we move on.
Probably
To,
wrong,
we
but
move on.
they've certainly lost
I
a
want to
few.
move on to the Watford game, but I want to use this to lead into the Watford game. The fear I have is that Klopp has been very conservative, and Brian Murphy makes this point as well, that he has been almost in these big pressure games. He's been almost conservative to say, I don't want to lose here. I'm focused on not losing, and then if there's 20 minutes to go, and once we're still in the game, then I'll look to try go win it. Because you see, yesterday he brings on Origi and he tries to do something different to shake it up, and it doesn't come off right. But let's be honest here. There's probably more to being bold as brass from the outset, not being conservative and just going hell for leather in these last 11 games and just going, look, do you know what? If we don't win it, there's a good chance we don't win it if we try to be conservative and not lose. So we may as well just try win.
I think if we go 1-0 up against United, we beat them 3-0 yesterday.
Potentially.
Yeah.
They don't stay with us, the course.
But we started well.
Phil,
yesterday.
you go hell for leather for the last 11 games this season, and what we did last season went hell for leather for the whole season. We finished about 25 points behind City. Right, Linder said it when he came in. He wanted to settle things, get a bit of organisation to the team, and try and put a title challenge together. Try not to concede as many goals. Like, there's no use conceding 30 goals a
Bring back
season.
Buvac, that's what I say.
But Andy, we didn't concede. We haven't conceded massive amount of goals since we signed Van Dijk, and we hadn't conceded even massive amount of goals since that game against Spurs before Van Dijk was signed.
True.
So I'm saying to you, this is now a time to say, let's just go for it. These generally the fortune tends to favour the brave in these situations.
Yeah.
What City have done to catch us is to say, fuck it, lads. If we lose a game, so what? What we're going to do is just try win every single game we possibly can.
To be personally, I'd prefer a manager who's able to put a bit of rationale into it. He's going to see games where
That's because you're naturally nervy, though. You're a nervous person.
how am I?
So you just are. You're naturally cautious. You're not a risk. You're more
Risk
risk
averse.
averse than you are a risk taker, and therefore you
I would
naturally.
prefer to play the percentages.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
life you will. Like in
What the fuck is
in your
this?
everyday life. So what I'm saying is you are drawn to that side of Klopp. You are drawn to the more risk adverse side of Klopp when it comes to these big games. You will feel that he's making the right decisions because you as a person
No.
can relate to that.
No, that's not it at all.
That's 100% it.
Klopp plays
That's 100% it.
Klopp plays attacking football. So
he
there's
doesn't
absolutely
anymore.
He hasn't for ages.
there's
Doesn't play
no,
attacking football. That's a myth.
it's not a myth. We've seen plenty of evidence.
If that was heavy metal football yesterday, then Bon Jovi is death metal.
That's fucking meatloaf we're playing at the
Yeah.
That was a dose of fucking
exactly
Serious supply.
Lady Gaga. That was Lady Gaga football yesterday.
But anyway, like
Manure.
I've every faith in Liverpool turning in some decent performances for the rest of the season. Like they were very excellent against Bournemouth, and Watford is going to be a similar type of, you would imagine, type of approach from the opposition. So, I mean, I know Klopp can send a team out to play attacking football when they want, but I'd certainly prefer a manager who's going to sit there and evaluate things game by game, and hopefully he can navigate his way through to the end of the season.
I don't think yesterday
We've done
we
that.
need to go out
No,
and
but
play
I don't think you just go, right, okay, that's it, guys. Go out and just go mad.
He just needed to get the mouse.
Then we
Get the
don't win the
mouse
league,
and
or we
put a
finish
few of the
third,
others
and
forward.
everybody's going, why did Klopp, with 11 games to go, just say to them, come on out in there and just do mad things? I would prefer to just navigate our way through the rest of the season, take it game by game.
Navigate
and you
us
never
into
know.
second.
You never know. No.
No, well, look, we've done the whole,
We're
heavy
up
metal
against
stuff.
an excellent team in City, and I think
We're up against a better squad.
keep our
in
nose
City.
in front of City now for as many
Keep
games
our
as possible.
nose.
For as many games as possible, David
Is that nose in the big
stink
nose?
of a run in.
Who has?
City.
No, they don't.
They do, yeah. They've got about 5 or 6 games now where you would expect them to win.
Wow, that's
Then
a
they have-
stinker of a run in. Like that after
There's
5 or
11
6 games out of the last 11.
points or
That-
19.
oh, that's terrible. That
They
is.
won't mind that run in
Jesus.
when they're 8 points clear.
Right, so there's 11 games left. The run in, I would consider, would be the last 6. The last
Oh,
four or
we're
six.
shortening the run in down now, are we?
Yeah, the run in. The last 4.
Who
The last 4.
have they got?
I'd have to have a look.
I just checked the definition of run in.
United are there. United are there. Spurs are there.
5 games.
They travelled to fucking Burnley. They travelled to a few other.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're really struggling with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we do.
When they're knocking 100
we've
goals
done.
past
Klopp
this.
has done that. We've done the whole heavy metal thing,
Yeah.
and it's gotten
Yeah.
us so far.
Yeah.
So, like Andy's right.
Now we're
Like,
trying some prog rock.
No, we're just toning it down a bit. Got from heavy metal football to soft rock.
feeling.
Trying to focus. So the heavy metal stuff has got us
Steve
so
hasn't
far.
made a good point all night. He's just acting like a clown.
I've made excellent points.
Davo, I think you should talk more and him shut up.
No, it's just
Andy's hurting because I psychoanalyzed him to within an inch of his
Because
life.
you haven't been able to make a decent point on it. You've been called out by about 20 comments. They're all telling you to get the fuck out of the studio. Davo,
What's the point?
BC 1978. But I think this is
back?
your. I think this is your.
Is he back?
I think this is Brendan's.
Brendan's
Brenda is on here.
Fuck off, Brendan.
Brendan's saying, see 4 away in the last 6. Andy is right.
there you are.
So what? Like one of them could be
here's
Fulham
another
away.
great
One of them
point
could be
being made.
Fulham away. It won't
blah,
matter.
blah,
They're
blah,
fucking
blah,
back of them.
Interestingly, City had 4 at home and 4 away in the last 8. There you go.
There you go.
Davo, what were you saying there? Because I was really interested.
No,
in what you
just fucking that like the fucking attacking football has got us so far. Like the heavy metal stuff, and then fucking I'm in bits there. And so there's obviously a change of tactic. Like going out and fucking winning 4-3 and fucking 5-4 and all that.
Yeah.
You're not going to win the league.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
keep on
no,
winning
no.
5-4, you will.
You're actually going to win every game.
Exactly what happened.
So we're obviously trying to navigate.
That's shit point 2 BC, isn't it? Yeah.
Win every game 5-4 win the league.
Every game 5-4. You will win every game 4-3 or 5-4. That won't win your league.
Fuck off.
Till you find it will.
Andy's right, fuck off.
Listen, it's like the WhatsApp. You all hate me because I'm right so much. It's not my fucking fault.
Right. Somebody's saying City have Palace, Spurs and United in a row from the 20th of April.
What?
But-
City have Palace, Spurs, and United.
Yeah. In a row.
So they're 6 points out of 9 anyway.
Yeah. And potentially.
Spurs will have fucking bent over by then. So
Oh,
that'll
right.
be 3 points.
If Spurs are in with a shout of doing anything, they'll just blow up at that
Palace
stage.
won't
Palace
beat them
will be
despite beating them.
Palace will be
already.
Palace will be a solid 9th place at that stage and be happy enough to.
Palace will be on the beach.
Yeah.
They won't even, like, Roy Hodgson won't even turn up.
No.
No.
Why?
But all the other teams that should be on the beach when we play will fly home.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Just for that game.
They don't really have many difficult games. What's making the next couple difficult is without Fernandinho.
Okay.
Hopefully,
I want to get away from
They've
them.
gone over the next 3.
I want to get away from them.
Playing
I know we
against
haven't talked about Kepa and Sarri because that's funny.
They're home
Right?
against West Ham on Wednesday and they're away against Bournemouth at the weekend.
Okay, can I just stop because I want to roll onto the Watford game, and the context I want to put onto the Watford game is something that's starting to emerge and potentially is given a way to play against Liverpool, and that's just not playing through the middle. Let Liverpool have the ball in the middle. They can't break us, being solid through the middle, and then let them have the ball out wide, and you attacking Liverpool out wide, because that's what Bayern Munich did, that's what City did to us, that's what United were trying to do to us yesterday, even though they lost most of their players to what their attacking players would have been anyway. Yeah, exactly, in terms of what was there. They're all dead. But Watford have a fairly decent manager in terms of tactics, and they're going to try this approach, and they've some decent players at Watford as well, so it's like it's one of the stronger Watford teams.
are a Bournemouth. They have the ability to cause us problems if they all show up.
Yeah.
We also have the ability to beat them 3-0. That's it can go either way, but yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
But
Good point.
They're better. But Watford, look, this could be totally wrong, like my last point. But
you're right.
I would imagine Watford are better defensively than Bournemouth.
Yeah, well, Bournemouth.
Like they won't be as open as Bournemouth were when they came. So it could be. Listen, they will probably try and sit in and try and fucking and make it difficult.
Has anybody heard what the prognosis is on Firmino?
It was a high ankle sprain, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Right,
He said he's a
looking at
quick
probably-
healer.
I think that's 2 weeks.
I'd say to be hot.
We'll be back after the international break.
But what would you do? For me, I'd push Salah
play
Central.
Sturridge.
I'd push Salah Central.
Salah Central
and
I
Shaqiri.
would put Salah Central and play Shaqiri. There's no
It has to be.
there's no place for Sturridge in a starting
Origi.
lineup in
And
any team in the
I'd
Premier League.
I'd also start Keita in
Yes.
the middle of the
Yeah.
park
Yeah,
with this,
100%.
with Wijnaldum and Fabinho, and
And Moreno left back.
well, I wouldn't play.
Just for a shit.
Mignolet and goal.
Just because you beat Slate Robertson, I thought just throw.
I didn't say Robertson. I just said I don't think he's had his best run of form in the last
No,
3
he
or 4
hasn't had
games.
a
He
best
hasn't had
run
a
form,
great
but he
run of
needs to.
form.
Yeah, he
He'll
has
play
to
his
play.
way out of that.
But Trent,
You want them coming
Start
back
trying
in.
to
I
look at
like the point you made about Alisson being switched back on. Like,
Yeah, he'll
fellas dropping off like over a couple of games. You'd be hopeful that they will click back into gear for the last 11 games.
People are showing.
is Lovren's bunion gone yet?
But
No.
Kevin,
No.
Kevin, that are showing
When's it going?
4-2-3-1 and stuff like this. But I think if you have Keita, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho with Shaqiri on the pitch as well, it's not necessarily a set system you're going to play. You're going to have your 2 fullbacks pushing on, and then those lads are just going to rotate.
I'd be,
right away around the
I'd be
field.
surprised though if he plays Shaqiri. I'd be surprised if it's not 4-2-3-1.
I'd be interested personally to see how Keita could do in the role that Firmino's been given in that formation this season.
Yeah.
I think he could actually play it quite well.
Well,
I think it could be the sort of
Keita
game
where?
in behind Salah. If you are playing that, if you're playing Wijnaldum and Fabinho,
So playing
brought him on
playing
as a
central
security.
as opposed to off the kind of left where
yeah,
he
yeah,
was.
no, he wouldn't. You're basically the way Firmino played as that support striker. You're ultimately giving him that and letting him link midfield.
Yeah, just let him pick up the
Tempo.
ball up deep and run with it.
Yeah, people are
Make
talking
runs
about
on
him,
it.
and I've said it a few times about him maybe not being as switched on defensively and not seeing the same level of urgency in him to get back when the opposition break compared to even the likes of Mane or Salah. In the last game, what was it, the Bayern Munich game? He did show that. I thought that was his best game since probably
Yeah.
Crystal Palace.
Look, I don't know. You can talk about formations, but realistically, between 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3 going forward, it doesn't look too different. You know, if you're gonna play Keita in the middle of the park anyway, probably the most advanced in either of the shapes.
Yeah.
And Salah's going to play through the middle. Shaqiri's going to play off the right, Mane's going to play off the left, and that's exactly where it's going to look in either shape.
It's me. Joshua makes a good point. He says we've 2.6 points per game with Trent in the team and only 1.4 without him in the team. Like, to me, without an obvious
Is that
replacement.
because he's played the vast majority of the season though, and Milner's played 3 games at right
Well,
back? and Henderson
Gomez played a few games at right back
Yeah,
as
he did
well. When he
actually.
was,
That's a fair
Yeah.
point. Yeah, fair. I forgot about that.
so the other thing, like there is, and Mick makes a good point. Shaq has been a super sub because basically he's very good at reading the game when he's on the bench coming on. Although I'd argue that since Christmas he hasn't played.
Since
at all.
Christmas.
Since the home game against United, I don't think he's been.
He was
as much as
disappointing
Ronaldo.
yesterday, but it looked nearly like it was instructional. It looked like he was told to stay out wide and keep that width on the right hand side. He didn't look to get in near the box.
I don't
and threaten at all.
understand this wide thing. Of all the teams, we aren't the team that can get the ball out wide and whip it in because we've got nobody in the box that's going to win it there.
Yeah.
In fact, what we used to do well was get to the byline and cut it back, and you'd have Mane or
2 or 3
Firmino
coming
or
in
Salah
around the penalty
cutting
spot.
in around the penalty box to
Yeah.
finish it off, and we just seem to have gone away from that tactic. Like some of
Well,
those tactics.
Milner got in at one stage and did try to cut back, and he
It's just a shy cross.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just a shy ball, yeah.
how we normally do that is by one of the midfielders breaking the lines and getting behind their defence.
And that's where I think Keita, either you're playing Keita, you're playing Shaqiri, or hopefully maybe Oxlade-Chamberlain is fit in 2 to 3 games to have even 20 minutes in his leg or something like that, because we do need something. Our midfield, that Wijnaldum, Henderson axis, and that's not me getting on either of them, but when you play those two, we naturally become a lot flatter, and we
I
don't.
don't disagree with you. In games early on the season when the two of them played together, it was poison. But since Fabinho's come in, I think when Fabinho and Henderson played together, they tend to. Well, it tends to make Henderson look better.
Henderson just looked like I'm not a detractor of Henderson's at all, but he looked poor on Sunday because he just looked. He did actually a lot of good in the first half where he was breaking up play. He did a lot of that, but you're right in saying he did seem to be on the toes of the 2 centre halves or Fabinho or even Wijnaldum at times. When they were on the ball, he was 3 yards away from them, 5 yards away from them.
I'd like to see Fabinho actually a bit higher than rather than sitting, because he has that ability to win the ball back
And be vertical.
very well. He's fucking the telescopic legs on him.
Well, that's what
He puts the vet
that's
down.
what I saying.
Swap them around.
That's what I saying. His strengths is winning the ball up high.
Winning the ball
so
up
when
high.
we talk about him as a 6,
Yeah.
I'm surprised when people think he's going to sit him really deep,
Yeah.
as deep as, because he's so good. He's so good in the advanced part of the field where you can win the ball up and then get chances.
But that's where
We can't get you. We can't.
What is wrong with
we
you?
about 70% possession yesterday and just couldn't create chances. When we have possession, it just works as a negative.
But isn't that what we were hoping Keita would bring to the side? When you think back to Keita in pre-season, he was very good in the last 25 yards of finding that little ball through, finding that bit of space, being able to play. And to be fair, when he has played well in the last 2 to 3 games, that's exactly what he's brought to the table.
Yeah.
He's brought that ability to break a defence with a decent pass and or to open a defence up. I think by us not shooting, taking shots from outside the box, defenders are very comfortable to sit there and not come out and charge our players on the edge of the box because they know we're going to spread it, try play a pass and whatever. Yeah. If you start taking shots, all of a sudden those centre backs will start coming out of position and it will start creating space in around
taking
where
shots or
taking shots. If we mix it up, we have to mix it up.
Taking shots. Just run it. Yeah, we just don't have enough ball carriers. Just Shaqiri when early on the season he was doing that very well. He was just running into. You run out of defence, they start moving out of position. They have to come out. When they do that, they create space. There's a 1-2-1 or whatever. Nobody's been doing that lately. It's all very left and right.
Yep.
We can't cross balls in because we don't have big players in the middle. And then we're not having midfielders break the lines to play the kind of little tricky balls in and get cut a ball across. But yeah, something has to change tactically in that sense.
Phil, I think, said earlier on, it's disjointed. It's like the midfield three and the front three. There's nothing. Sorry, I think it was you, was it?
He makes all the points, remember?
They're like two separate entities kind of at the minute. There's no link player to interplay with them and it's a bit of a struggle.
Yeah. I think even in October and November when we are kind of winning games 1-0 and we're keeping all them clean sheets and everyone's thinking the play isn't good enough, it won't be sustainable across the season, but we were kind of top of the league and we were behind the City, were we at that point? But anyway, it was working well for us. They're getting results and everyone was saying there was no link between the midfield and the forwards. Well, it's nearly March now, and we still have the same problem, and now it's costing us a couple of points.
Look,
do something about
I
it.
want to wrap it up. So, Andy, who would you start, and what's the prediction for Watford?
Who would I start? Obviously the goalkeeper is obvious.
Thanks. That's a great start.
Yeah, that would be
the goalkeeper.
Would you play defenders?
First good point there the night, mate.
Brendan will be back on now in a minute.
See you.
Come on. See
Trent comes in. Keita comes in for Henderson. So
Matip.
Keita. What?
Matip.
Yeah, look, you got to play Matip. Like, there's no choice at the moment. But if it could play anybody, paraplegic out of crowd, I'll stick him in. And then up top, the obvious three. And just hopefully that the midfield just show a little bit more ambition in terms of getting beyond the opposition's defence.
Steve,
I agree with Andy.
Thank you. Shane, you have a fan, by the way. I'll tell you about it later on.
Well, for me, now,
don't lift home.
Text and here I am.
For me, I was out obviously, so I'd imagine that'll be Shaqiri maybe.
Oh yeah,
in.
I just said the front three.
I was to mention Shaqiri was in for Firmino.
Yeah.
You did mean that, didn't you?
Yeah, something like that. I said that about 5 minutes ago and then I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I have you back.
Shaqiri in for Firmino and Trent comes back in, and I'd like to see Keita in the midfield as well. I think the change, the team kind of picks itself really apart from that midfield three now at the minute.
Well, no, the Klopp always tends to do something mad. It wouldn't surprise me if I see Milner and Fabinho and a Keita midfield with the derby.
You might see that in the derby.
I don't know if you will. I think Milner starts in midfield in the derby.
Play the derby because that's just what Klopp does. Whether you agree with it or not, that tends to be. He's going to play. He's going to put Milner in somewhere in the team against.
Arguably, he'll go with Milner, Henderson, and Wijnaldum in the derby. That's what he's done for every big game. So,
what time's derby at?
4.
12.
4.
3. 1. 6. Depending on what.
See Milner back in at right full.
Anyway, so
he could. I wouldn't
score?
be surprised.
3-1.
3-1. Andy score?
3-0.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think Trent. You'd have to start Trent.
Yeah,
Trent and Robertson. Look, we're at home. The impetus is on us to really go at them and put this idea of us struggling in attack to bed. So for me, we have to go with our most attacking lineup. We haven't replaced Coutinho. I agree with nearly everyone that's saying this. I'm really, that has concerned me since about November. That we look at number 10 short on that pitch in certain games. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Even with the dodgy knees, I'd take a dodgy knee with number 10 to win a league over number 10.
I'm not sure that particular role in the team has a place anymore for Klopp. Like, we don't.
Well, if he was going to spend the money on Fekir, it would probably suggest that he wants someone.
Yeah, but why hasn't he played somebody else in that role? Why hasn't he even tried Keita in that role?
I think he has played somebody in that role because he's played Firmino in that role a lot this season. In my mind, that's exactly where you would see the likes of Fekir playing. When you're talking about that 4-2-3-1, if you want to call it that central point of the tree is where, and it's where Firmino hasn't been effective all season. So that's where I would have had someone like Fekir.
Some pointing out that Lallana will probably start. If they do, I'm turning the telly off.
He could.
I would be surprised to see him start.
Personally, I'll go Trent. Trent on which is on the back four. Trent, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson. Midfield for me has to be Fabinho, Wijnaldum and Keita. I think that's the strongest midfield we have at this moment in time, right? Then up front I'm going Mane, Origi and Salah.
No, you're not.
What?
No, you're not.
I actually am.
You're not.
I am.
You're not. There's no logic for that, so I don't.
No, I am.
Could be.
That's what you would go for. I'm not saying what Klopp's going to pick.
No, I think that's what Klopp will go with. I don't think he trusts Shaqiri. After everything that's gone on, I think he's looking at Shaqiri. He's looking at poor form since Christmas. Shaqiri's done nothing since he's come into the side. And
I think a home game against Watford, you would trust Shaqiri.
I don't know. I think with Keita, if you look at that lineup and you have Keita there, you almost have a number 10 behind him, and he's thinking Origi can play off the shoulders, and you just get that much more attacking impetus and a central focal point of the attack. I just think that's potentially.
You get a fella who can't shoot on target.
Or could we see?
Scores headers when the ball bounces off the back.
Could we see a 4-4-2? Because that's a significant shape change, and that he did.
I don't think so. I don't think. Who would you play as the two
top? Like if you're
Salah and
Origi playing, Salah and Origi.
Yeah,
Shaqiri off the right,
and Mane off the left.
And then pick your midfield.
Then your midfield is probably Fabinho and
Wijnaldum,
yeah. Or Fabinho and Keita if you wanted to go that way as well. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting, but when you look ahead to we'll talk about the derby on Wednesday after the game.
Like if you're going to do something like if you're going to do something different for the rest of the season, something like that, could be a possibility.
Just to change
4-4-2.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
I don't see it, but if you're going to, we're going to have to come up with a solution to this where teams are letting us just parking as many players centrally so we can't break them down the middle, and we haven't been great going wide and getting balls across. They're happy to let us take the ball wide because they're comfortable defending in the centre.
But can I just say, over the last few games, it hasn't been down to excellent defensive play by the opposition. It's been really sloppy, poor final balls from our players. So no change of shape. No, it's not even an inability to break down this resolute defence that we just cannot get past. It's really sloppy play from our players in the final third. And it doesn't matter who those players are. Whenever they get into that position, they're fucking things up.
I would agree.
And that doesn't, until that changes, we don't break this cycle.
I think we're all agreed though. No matter what happens, doesn't matter what the performance is like, 3 points is an absolute necessity
100%.
on Wednesday night.
Yeah. 100%.
We have to win all our home games from here at the end of the season.
At the very start tonight, I was just saying, to put the United game in context, 4 points against United. Tomorrow or Wednesday is the type of game you just have to win.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I could understand a massive overreaction on Wednesday, because if we lose on Wednesday and City win, I think it's pretty much over.
So you're on a knife edge between over and not over. Anyway,
because I don't think Liverpool are going to win the league. I think they have a chance.
Okay.
But I think once City,
you've texted many times to say that we're going to win the league.
Yeah, because that's just a reaction to all your negativity.
I've no negativity of realism.
I genuinely believe it.
I want to stop you there.
I hope you do, because you got a good price of 60.
I want to stop you there. That's been the club. That's been the club. That's Monday night. This has been the club with Reds Bet. That's been Andy Young. That's been Stephen Daly. That's been Shane Davern. I have been your host, Phil Kelly. Casey. Don't forget the Sean Cox appeal is on the website. You get www.lfcdt.com/support Sean. The next 5 interviews will be out at the end of next week. It is £10 for the 15 interviews all the way. Stephen,
maybe
do a job. And then, of course, the tickets for the Sean Cox match in Viva are on sale at this moment in time. So get on and get your tickets on Ticketmaster. We will be at the game in official capacity as well, doing a bit of media on the day for us. So we want us all to be there. We want to see us there at the game. There will be a Cop Table preview pod out tomorrow night as well. This will be out, within the next hour and a half as a full podcast as well. There'll be a final whistle after the game on Wednesday. Myself, I'll be here, but I'll be on the production desk. Gav is hosting it. And then there'll be
BC. Tell BC I'll be here.
BC will be here. Yeah, Brenda, Steve will be here on Wednesday. If you want to say it again. And then the weekend, I'm going to fix Gav's computer, so the Fatback 4 will be back on Sunday, and then we will be back next Monday. As is.
They don't need your fucking life story. Just tell them.
I know. I just have to get through it all. But that's it. So that has been the club. I have been your host, Phil Casey, and I just need to do it from distance. My eyes are going on me here, lads.
I did a Derek Zoolander all the time and just spoke into that camera when that was the one that was on.
I know, yeah, but that's the way it is. Anyway, good night, God bless, and we'll see you all next week. What's that side there?